considered one of the finest men he's ever met.
Well, I think that, and also his Spurrier's IQ and knowledge of the game. I mean, his offense has been successful everywhere he goes, and Garcia knows that they're going to throw the ball around.
No doubt. Garcia with lots of time. Again, you can't blitz in this all-star game, although we've seen a few. Garcia, that one slips out of his hand and goes out of bounds. He was looking for Joe Haden. There's Joe, a young man from Fort Washington, Maryland. Garcia has a rifle arm. We've seen that, but sometimes when he really cranks it up, it takes a long time to get that delivery going. I think Spurrier will work with him on that. No doubt. He's going to work on his delivery, but he has shown some feel in the pocket. He slides around pretty well. He can feel the rushers coming down on him, and a lot of times you don't get that in young quarterbacks. It's 3rd down and 10 from the gun. Here's Steven Garcia. The pump fake to the outside, and that ball was batted down at the line of scrimmage. I think that was Michael Keck who got his hand up. And there's Jordan Campbell, who's had a big game for the West squad. And there you see that USC Trojan sticker on the back of his helmet. That's where he's headed next year to play for Pete Carroll. Got to be juiced up after that big win over Michigan. A lot of times, if you can't get to the quarterback, you get your hands up. Nice job of knocking the ball down. That was actually Anthony Jacobs, a young man from Northfield, Minnesota, who was in there at defensive end and batted that ball down. Flag down. It could be another delay penalty. The East squad has had a little trouble with the special teams getting him on and off the field.
Dead ball foul. Illegal substitution. 12 men on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, 4th down.
Well, there's the hair, the young man who loves the story about Troy in the movie Troy. He goes by the nickname of Achilles. You know, he was in the Elite 11 quarterback camp. There you see his numbers. And they tried to chase him down and shave his head. And this guy got incensed. There was no way they were going to shave that hair. Well, the strength is in his hair. That's right. And the trivia question. Speaking of quarterbacks, John Brantley of Trinity Catholic in Ocala is the 22nd Gatorade National Player of the Year. Who was the very first Gatorade National Player of the Year? Chris, you got a guess? Deion Sanders? Hey, that's not a bad guess, but you have to go back a little bit farther. Jeff George from Warren Central in Indianapolis. Remember Jeff? Jeff, the mercurial Jeff George. Boy, maybe the greatest arm of any quarterback. And there's the new quarterback in now. That's Jarrett Lee for the West. He's committed to LSU. Must have loved watching the Sugar Bowl as the Tigers were all over Notre Dame. There's the handoff to Lennon Creer. As you look at Coach Outlaw, Creer, a young man from Tatum, Texas, Tatum High School. And he's narrowed his choices to Florida, Georgia, Miami, and Nebraska. That's a pretty good list. It is a good list, and he's another good-sized kid, 6'1", 202. Has the frame that you can put some weight on him, get him a little bigger. But he has a burst to his game, and he has the ability to get to the perimeter. There's Lee, the young man from Brenham, Texas. He fires it to the outside. Aaron White on the receiving end, flag down. White from Columbia, Missouri, the #1 player in the state of Missouri. Playing wide receiver tonight. He was a tight end on his high school team at Rockbridge. And again, the officials have been busy tonight. You don't like to see this many flags in an all-star game. You almost want to see the kids play a little bit.
Holding, number 8 offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down. That's against Dez Bryant, the outstanding wide receiver prospect from Lufkin.
It's a bad play because he was holding. It's a good play, though, when you see your wide receivers blocking. Especially in today's game, a lot of wide receivers don't like to get physical and block. Dez Bryant showing that he'll mix it up.
From the gun, Jarrett Lee. The West has 3 quarterbacks they're rotating. Cody Burns, Aaron Corp, and Jarrett Lee, while the East squad has 2. Robert Marv, young man from Tampa who is going to Alabama, came up with a sore shoulder, and instead of risking further injury, he decided to come enjoy the week, and then he went home a few days early.
Marv, a young man out of Tampa, playing high school, won a state championship this year.
Incomplete pass, looking for Aaron White again. It's interesting, he's from Columbia, Missouri, where the University of Missouri is located. And initially there was interest, obviously, but then Mark Richt came in. Family fell in love with Richt in Georgia, and the kid's going south.
It's amazing, though. Some of these coaches, though, they have such influence and motivation, and they're able to sell themselves not only to the kids, but also to the parents.
So it'll be 3rd down and 17. Jarrett Lee. A little pressure from the outside, dodges trouble, and through the hands of Drew Davis. There's Davis from Denver, Colorado.
See good surge up front coming off the ball. Nice job of sliding and avoiding the rush. Again, that's a ball that is catchable. You want to try and pull that in.
There's a good look at Drew Davis, young man going to Oregon. On for another kick is Wes Byram. Check that, that's Chaz Henry, who's had an adventure tonight. And that ball is down around the 44-yard line. That's his best punt of the night, a 42-yard boot. Again, the East, coached by Rush Probst of Hoover High School. Two-a-days fame on top 7-0.
ESPNU College Hockey. The Providence Friars take on the Boston College Eagles. Sunday at 3 on ESPNU.
Offense-defense football camp is the best way to fine-tune your future. More than 75% of offense-defense campers receive college scholarships. With 40 camps nationwide, offense-defense provides full contact instruction from the biggest names in the NFL and college ranks. Get the attention of coaches and recruiters as well as honing skills, and you may earn a spot on our elite team. The gateway to the Offense-Defense All-American Bowl. Log on or call 1-843-903-1888.
You're never too young to learn from the best. With more than 4 decades of teaching players of all ages, Offense Defense offers the biggest names from the NFL and college ranks, providing a full contact experience for each player and learning firsthand what it takes to be the best. From football fundamentals to lessons in life, your child will learn football in a safe family environment that will give them an extra edge. With over 40 camps nationwide, there is one near you. Log on or call 1-843-903-1888.
The stars are out and the hair is flowing in this Offense-Defense All-American Bowl. Check it out. Campbell and Garcia.
Straight out of California, boys.
He's going to USC. Hey, ESPNU's coverage of college basketball continues Friday. Jason Thompson, the Ryder Bronx, take on conference rivals, the Marist Red Foxes, and Jared Jordan. It's College Hoops presented by the Home Depot on ESPNU Friday at 7 Eastern. There's some fans with the nachos out, enjoying this high school football game, which has become so popular. The whole high school football recruiting aspect of things has just taken the country by a storm over the last decade. Everybody's keeping up with these kids, and they almost know them as well as the college stars of today. There's the handoff of the West squad. That's Lennon Creer.
Time he lost the ball. Want to see ball security going through the middle.
Cameron Newton is back in at quarterback. As you look there at Patrick Crump, the young man from Hoover High School, number 70. He played for Rush Probst on those great teams. You see the Gator sticker on the back of Newton's helmet. Just a monster athlete. Boy, look at that athleticism as he dodges tacklers. And eventually, he's going to go down. I mean, that's a loss, but that was an exciting loss.
Well, and we are talking about a guy that's 6'4", 230 that has that ability, that escape ability to move around. The one thing, though, Doug, when you have a quarterback as big as Cameron Newton, they like to hold on to the football because they feel like they can physically get out of any tackle, showing it here. You want him to get rid of that thing, but he's a big one. You see the Gator sticker on the back? What do they say? If you're not a Gator, you're Gator bait.
That's right. Check that out. And that looks like a blitz, but nevertheless, it's the screen pass that's going to go for nice yardage. That's Brian Maddox, the young man from Anderson, South Carolina, TL Hanna High School. 14-yard pickup.
Well executed that time by the East. Let the rush come in. Good job by Maddox. Pushing it here, following his blocking, letting it unfold. Stop just shy of the sticks.
There you see Maddox. The coaches describe him as a cerebral kid. Really picked up the offense almost instantaneously this week. They all reported on December 30th. Started practicing immediately. And every day they've had activities, all sorts of video game tournaments. They've eaten a lot of great food down here and just had a wonderful time. The weather is just ideal, especially for a lot of these kids from up north where it's starting to snow and get icy. You're from Chicago, Chris. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm loving it down here right now. But that's what it's all about, and it is about the activities off of the field as well, getting immersed in the community. They're doing some charity events. These kids have been very interactive and loving every minute of it.
Let's listen into the coaches if we can just eavesdrop a bit.
Stack 22 mesh. Stack 22 mesh. Red. What?
There you go, the stack 22 mesh red. All right, Chris, you know what that's all about, right?
Well, that's power football.
Stack 2.
There you go, stack.
Mixing it up.
The punter, Wes Byram, is back in there.
See the ball! See the ball!
That's the coaching staff from Lufkin High School in Lufkin, Texas. And Byram has shown off a live foot kicking off. Both punters have struggled a bit tonight. That was just a 27-yard kick. And that's where the West will take over, trailing 7-0 in Fort Lauderdale, the offense-defense All-American Bowl.
Think you're ready for Division I football and beyond? Now is your chance to prove it against the top high school prospects in the country. The Offense-Defense Combine will lead you through drills, measure your abilities, and relay your results to coaches and recruiting professionals nationwide. The Offense-Defense Combine is the perfect vehicle to earn an invitation to the Offense-Defense Elite Camp, where you may find yourself on national TV in the Offense-Defense All-American Bowl. If you're ready, and you know it, log on or call 1-843-903-1888.
You guys run the double team a lot, right?
Join us in March for ESPN The Weekend at the Walt Disney World Resort. Superstar athletes, thrilling attractions, ESPN personalities, live telecasts, and more. Book your trip at ESPNTheWeekend.com. Presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Enter the ESPN The Weekend Sweepstakes presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. You could win a trip for you and your family to Walt Disney World. Log on to ESPN.com, search Dick's.
You're watching the offense-defense, the OD All-American Bowl, the inaugural game here in Fort Lauderdale. You see the water, the hotels. It really is a dynamic place for these young men who've come in from all across the country. Doug Bell and Chris Martin having some fun watching these kids. Many have told us this week where they'll be going to college. They're excited about it. Others will announce at halftime. There's Reshaw Johnson, one of the big guards for the West team. Here's the draw play, running right behind Reshaw. That's Raymond Carter, young man from Los Angeles Crenshaw High School, go to UCLA. Reshaw is a big guy. Now he's 6'4", 315 pounds. And Chris, Tuesday they're playing basketball. The guys get together for a little hoops action. Flat-footed, underneath the basket, jumps up, two-handed dunk. 315 pounds.
Well, it shows you how explosive he is, and it starts with his legs. He's got tree trunks. He's a big guy, but he has good footwork. And if you watch it, he can move his feet. Very athletic for a 6'4", 300-pounder.
Going to Ole Miss to play for Ed Orgeron from Hammond, Louisiana. And there's Cody Burns getting swarmed under. Cody is quick, but so is that East defense. Donald Langley got in there, the young man from Germantown, Maryland, the chatty one who's going to Tennessee. There's Kendall Smith from Bushnell, Florida.
I've been impressed with the linebackers for the East, their ability to read and react. As soon as they recognize run, they flow to the football.
Cody Burns, young man from Arkansas, going to Auburn, goes deep and has his man. Great grab on the outside, Anthony Boyles. Boyles from Gardenia, California, Sarah High School, playing for the Washington Huskies next year, 42 yards.
Well, this wasn't bad coverage by Hill, but it's an outstanding catch. Watch him attack the football and go get it at its highest point. It was saran wrap coverage. It was pretty tight, but Boyle's ability to go up and high point the football, we'll see it here. Way to locate it. Good job pulling it in.
Yeah, Coach Willingham recruited him. Boyles gave him the verbal commitment several weeks ago. Big kid, 6'3", 185 pounds.
Going back to it.
Yep, and he's open, and he has it. Flag down on the play. It's a touchdown. Burns to Boyles. We'll check the flag unless it's offensive pass interference. I think we're going to be tied up here, assuming they make the extra point.
We'll give credit to Coach Outlaw. Obviously, they like that matchup. Again, you mentioned it. Boyles is 6'3". Those are the guys that you want to throw the jump balls to.
And the way everybody's reacting, it will go against the East squad. Yeah, the pass interference against the East. So it's a touchdown.
He said Ocho Cinco. He's thinking about Chad Johnson. That looked like Chad Johnson.
You know, these kids, if you spend some time with them, they really are. They have terrific personalities. They're a lot of fun to be around. And they do watch a lot of TV, and they watch guys like Chad Johnson, and it kind of trickles down. It's funny to see them act like some of their heroes, and the extra point is good. And we're all tied up now. The East 7 and the West 7. There's a good look at Anthony Boyles. One more time, Cody Burns just heaves it. Anthony Boyles with that deceptive speed. Got separation, jumped, catch, touchdown.
If it's played on a campus, it's on ESPNU.
Over the shoulder goal. Wow.
The best college sports action all year long.
Wisconsin wins. Oregon State wins a national championship.
Here's what's playing tomorrow night at 7, a MAC basketball matchup. Ryder takes on Marist. Then at 9, recap all the highlights on Sports Center U. ESPNU, always in season.
Little Man, now on pay-per-view.
You're drinking breast milk.
From the guys who brought you White Chicks.
I just got out of rehab.
Oh! The wildest.
I sworn he just stuck his tongue in my mouth.
Funniest.
You make a cute little baby.
Most hilarious movie of the year. Sean Wayans. Marlon Wayans.
You want some company in there?
It's bath time.
Little Man, now on pay-per-view.
It's a night of fights that will shock the MMA world. Pride Fighting Championships. Shockwave 2006. Featuring Pride's undefeated heavyweight champion, Fedor Emelianenko. Also, the fighter that strikes fear in the heart of champions, Pride's Vanderlei Silva. Shockwave 2006. Playing this month on Dish Network pay-per-view.
Anthony Boyles, yes, indeed. Jumped up for that touchdown grab. We're all tied up 7-7 in the OD All-American Bowl in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, speaking of stars, check it out. College basketball future stars. Austin Freeman, DeMatha Staggs take on O.J. Mayo and the Huntington Highlanders. It's the Old Spice High School Showcase presented by Nike on ESPNU Saturday, 9:30 Eastern. I'll be dialed in. O.J. Mayo is outstanding. Going to USC, no less. Cody Burns was 3 for 3 on that last drive. He just dropped back and heaved it, didn't he?
Well, he showed his arm strength and his ability to go vertical, but he got some help from a very talented wide receiver in Boyles.
Chaz Henry ordinarily doesn't kick. He's mainly a punter, but tonight he'll do both. And Robinson Alexis, a young man from Delray Beach, Florida. West Boca High School is deep. And this is fielded right at the goal line by Joseph Haden. Hayden gets out to the 26-yard line. Hayden, a young man going to the Florida Gators as well from Fort Washington, Maryland. As you see, John Outlaw, 33 years he's been the coach at Lufkin High School in Lufkin, Texas. And the facilities there, Chris, are incredible for high school. Indoor facility, all the video stuff you want. I mean, it's impressive. And the same thing at Hoover High School. I tell you, high school's come a long way since I played. Of course, I played in another era, you know.
Well, that's what winning will do in both of these programs, Lufkin and Hoover. They've established a winning tradition.
Steven Garcia back in quarterback, the young man from Jefferson High in Tampa, going to South Carolina. And he shows off his arm to the outside and overshoots Chris Culliver. Culliver, good coverage on the outside. That's Chad Jones on the coverage. Jones, young man from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who hasn't decided where he'll attend college.
I think they're going to nab him for pass interference.
Number 2 defense, 15-yard penalty.
That was on Ben Wells.
Spot, automatic first down.
Ben Wells wears number 2, Texas commitment.
Time he was in good position on the fade route, but he stuck his arm out, and the refs are taught when they see that arm bar, you know you're going to get a flag.
Yeah, Ben just found out it was on him. Young man from Beaumont, Texas. He's going to play for Mac Brown and the Longhorns. He's matched up on Culliver on the outside. Garcia now just flips it over his intended receiver. Just too much there. And again, they're putting in some of the players are playing both ways. As you look at Garcia, both teams have about 42 players. A few have gone home with injuries and that sort of thing. Robert Marv was the 3rd quarterback on the east side, the young man from Tampa who committed early to Alabama, and Mike Shula, and now seems secure in his Alabama commitment with Nick Saban at quarterback, or Nick Saban as head coach. Here's the handoff to Brian Maddox. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Doug, there is a lot of thumping going on. There are some big hits down there. Hear it all the way up in the booth here. Defense bringing the hat.
Chad Jones stuck the hat in there. The young man from Baton Rouge. As you look at Rush Probst, the man who was trying to win his 5th straight 6A state title in the state of Alabama, and they were defeated by Prattville in the championship game. Third and 9 for Steven Garcia over the middle, and overshoots Rod Davis, young man out of Memphis, Tennessee, Wooddale High School. So that was unsuccessful for the East squad. I know Garcia is disappointed. I think he was open that time.
He was open. The West is doing a nice job, though. They're not really mixing up their coverages, but they're mixing up their alignments and stances, and I think it's throwing off Steven Garcia.
It's the 4th punt of the night for Wes Byram. And he'll boot deep to Chad Jones. Jones lets this one bounce. And 14-yard line is where they will take over. That is a 42-yard kick. There's Steven Garcia, Achilles. Really delightful guy. You know, he has kind of that flamboyant personality and the look with the hair and the war paint and that sort of stuff. But when you have a chance to talk to him, and I did earlier this year in our games on ESPNU, he's really a good kid, a gentleman, says yes, sir, and no, sir.
And you like his leadership skills,
really
too. It's one thing to have the physical measurables, but to also have the leadership qualities, those are things that you can't teach.
So the West takes over, busting it up the middle. A nice run. And that's Omar Bolden, the young man from Ontario, California. That's Colony High School. And it's an Auburn, Florida, Georgia Tech decision for that young man.
We like to see bursts in the hole, and here it is. He gets square, and already he's at the second level and running through contact, finishing the run. Good job by Omar Bolden.
Yeah, he was brought down by Morgan Burnett, who is the OD National Defensive Back of the Year. He wears number 7. He's back at safety. And there he is making the tackle, Burnett. Bringing down Dez Bryant. Bryant's a big old hoss. I like Burnett. He hasn't decided either from College Park, Georgia, where he'll go to college. And there you see the young man who was the National Defensive Back Player of the Year. I'm sure he puts that trophy on the old mantelpiece. That's pretty big stuff.
Got all the stickers on his helmet, but I like him because he's shown good range, and he'll be a thumper. He brings it.
There's the draw play again to Bolden. Good look at Bolden, who's 5'11", 185.
He runs bigger, though. He runs bigger than that, particularly when he's getting through the hole. He has a lot of burst and a lot of power running between the tackles.
Quarterback is Aaron Korp, the young man going to Southern California. Lutheran High School out of Villa Park, California. It's 2nd down and 5. To the outside it goes. Aaron White. Oh boy, nice lick by Morgan Burnett. But now before a first down for White, the #1 player out of the state of Missouri.
This is a good catch. Watch Burnett close to the ball here at the end. He is going to bring it. There it is. Buckled the receiver. But the best thing he did was run through initial contact.
Aaron Korp, 6'4". Has time, looking deep. Dez Bryant. And he throws that out of bounds. Korp, by the way, is the OD Quarterback of the Year nationally. A young man who has great mobility. And remember Kelly Clemens, the quarterback at Oregon?
Sure.
It reminds me of him. Tall kid, does a lot of good things, can scramble a bit. Good feet.
Yeah, great feet, good feel, and good awareness, but also, you know, he's a pocket passer. You're not going to see him move around too much and beat you with his legs, but he'll stand tall and deliver a strike.
Here's the option to the outside, Bolden. And he gets ripped down, flagged down on the play. That's Rolando McClain from Decatur, Alabama, one of the young men who will announce at halftime to Chris where he's going to attend college. And we'll check the flag. McClain, we haven't talked much about him tonight. But talk about specimens. You heard Rush Probst at the beginning of the game mentioned McClain, 6'4", 240.
He is every bit of it.
Wow.
I mean, he is cut from the mold.
You know, he's a kid, too, that looks to me, Chris, as we were on the field before the game, and of course, we watched the kid.
Number 3 on the defense, 15
It
yard
looks to
penalty
me
for
like he
the
could
line.
grow into a defensive end position, even though he's playing linebacker right now. He's a good-sized kid.
Yeah, he can play, you know, in a 4-3 defense, 3-4. He's athletic enough. He can play with his hand on the ground because he's big enough. But he is what you want your linebackers in college to look like.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you see the graphic says verbal commitment to Alabama. We'll see. At halftime, he's going to officially announce where he will attend college. Of course, big news in Tuscaloosa, and especially down here in Fort Lauderdale. Nick Saban leaving the Dolphins for the Crimson Tide. Speaking of halftime, here's what's coming up on our halftime report. Nate Newton will be here. The former Dallas Cowboy All-Pro, the man who blocked for Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman. He helps out the OD, the offense, defense. In fact, he was a camper there many years ago. And Chris will go down and talk to 5 young men who will announce on tonight's broadcast where they'll attend college, which is kind of neat. We're excited about that. Good hustle by Travian Robertson. Coming up with a sack of Aaron Corp. Robertson, a young man going to South Carolina. He's from Laurinburg, North Carolina. Scotland County High School, and actually set out several practices this week. Early on, he felt a little twinge in the hamstring, and so he sat out a few practices, but he wanted to play tonight. Young man who had a bad knee injury as a junior, had a solid senior season, and now one of the top prospects in the country. 9th play of the drive. It's 3rd down. A pitch out to Omar Bolden. And he's out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock. Rolando McClain ran him out of bounds.
And good recognition by Bolden. Good field awareness to get out of bounds. Nice job on the option. Good read. Pitch. Way to get out of bounds, though. Smart, heady football in the midst of battle.
Good look at Bolden, who has been the workhorse. This is the most impressive drive of the football game so far. 10 plays for the West team. Trying to take the lead before halftime against the East. The West has Louisiana, Texas, and California. Dez Bryant in the end zone. Touchdown. What a grab by Dez Bryant. That was pretty.
Dez Bryant is a bona fide star. And we'll get a look at it, but that is just an excellent job coming off the ball. Way to go up and attack it, and you know that every quarterback, when they want a big play, they go to this game. They find Dez Bryant. You talk about attacking the football and going up and getting it like a rebound in basketball. Good job, boy. That's exactly what he did. I mean, that's natural athleticism. He wasn't coached to do that. That is natural ability.
He's listed at 6'1", 195. He plays bigger.
Yeah, he does.
Because he can really lead.
Yep. He's got some hops.
Chaz Henry for the extra point. Again, they don't rush the extra point, and they don't rush the punter. And there's a good look at Aaron Corp. Handsome young man from California going to USC. Dez Bryant hasn't decided where he'll go. The coaches at A&M, LSU, Nebraska, and Oklahoma are waiting. And this is why they want him.
Great job of going and getting the football. Again, high point. Go up and get it. That separates good receivers, the great receivers, from good receivers. Excellent job by Bryant.
Well, the full moon is out tonight. Certainly the stars are out, especially at Lockhart Stadium for the inaugural OD All-American Bowl. And you see the kids from the west side that were down early 7-0, and now they're all revved up. They've come on strong here the last 2 drives.
Well, they keep fighting, they ball their fists up and keep battling. You want your guys to be resilient. And that's what I like to see. Dez Bryant back out there on special teams. Just scored a touchdown, got to the house. Now he's going to cover a kickoff.
He might be playing some special teams next year as a freshman wherever he goes, you know?
Oh, he's got to earn his stripes. There's no doubt about that at the college level. But I have a feeling he'll do it very quickly.
So again, it's Chaz Henry booting for the West. Even though he's from Georgia and should be on the East, but he's helping the guys out. Again, Billy Bennett, the young man who committed to Boston College, came up with a hamstring injury. So he's not kicking for the West squad. And that one goes through the hands of Joe Haden. And the East team with Cameron Newton coming out at quarterback will have 34 seconds, or 33 seconds to be exact, to see if they can muster anything before halftime. Again, Chris is going down at halftime. 5 of these young men will verbally commit on our air on ESPNU. We're excited about that. And we're also excited about talking to Nate Newton of the Dallas Cowboys fame, who is with offense, defense. In fact, way back when, Nate was a camper with the OD. Here's the screen pass to Brian Maddox, who just gets leveled. Coming up and blowing that play up was Malcolm Smith.
He's rolling, knock his helmet off. Let's go, D, pick it up.
Hey, they're fired up, huh?
It's all about intensity. Enjoyed being around Nate Newton earlier, though. Truly a legend in the NFL, college ranks, high school ranks. He was a great football player.
And a handoff. That should be the last play of the half. That went to Enrique Davis, who scored the first touchdown for the East team. Young man from Lynn Haven, Florida, Mosley High School. As you look at Rush Probst, who put on, and we told him earlier, we said, Coach, we didn't recognize you in that baseball cap. So he went in and got his visor. That's kind of his signature. And there's John Outlaw, the legendary coach from Lufkin High School. Over 3 decades, 33 years he's been coaching at Lufkin High School.
Some of these coaches just have it. It's just in their DNA. Certainly with Outlaw and Probst. They were born to be coaches. And they're really fun to be around. It's a nice little hat there. It could be the original helmet.
I think that's what Nate Newton wore in the OD camp that he went to. Hey, look at that. Isn't that great?
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Very impressive.
Yeah, in fact, we learned a lot about the offense-defense camp this week. Of course, you knew a lot about it, Chris, being a great football player in your own right. And through the years, when you look at the names of the people who have gone to the offense-defense camp, and you mention a name like Dick Butkus, Ray Nitschke, Tony Dorsett, I mean, Steve Young. It's
the best of the best.
Oh, wow.
And from all over the country.
Terrell Owens went to the OD. Newton over the middle, and that is almost intercepted. That was 3rd down, and so they'll punt it away, and which should kill the clock here for the first half.
Actually, Doug, this was a bad play and then a good play by the receiver. Bad play because he should have caught it. Good play because he comes down and breaks up the interception. So he kind of got it all in there.
Yeah, Nick Toon.
Time Nick Toon was fighting the football a little bit. Want to see him open those hands up and pull it in.
Boy, his dad, 5th punt of the game, by the way, for West Byram. Nick Toon, his dad Al was such a great receiver, and his career cut short because of concussions with the New York Jets. And there's the fair catch. Actually, there's still 5 seconds left on the clock. 37-yard punt.
You mentioned Al Toon, and we've seen a lot of jump balls to the receivers today. Al Toon was really one of the first to perfect that. Tall guy, 6'4", 6'5", but again, a receiver that often went up and attacked the football.
There's the young man, Al Toon's son, Nick. Well, I think Al Toon, and I think of those great games between the Jets and the Dolphins and Marino and Ken O'Brien, and wow.
Battles.
And this young man, needless to say, he lives in Madison, and he's following in his dad's footsteps. He will play for the Badgers, who are coming off their best year ever, 12-1 after beating Arkansas in the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, Coach Bielema's done a nice job at Wisconsin. And Al Toon's actually still very involved in the program at Wisconsin.
And that ends the half on the sack by Cliff Matthews. Young man going to South Carolina. Number 3 ranked player in the state of South Carolina, John Outlaw. All smiles. You know, if it was the regular season of the playoffs back in Texas, Coach Outlaw wouldn't be smiling. But he's smiling tonight. because it's the All-Star Game, one of the best in the country, the inaugural OD All-American Bowl in Fort Lauderdale. We've seen big plays and some great individual plays as well. It's 14-7 at the half. The West leads the East. Lots coming up at the half. Don't go away.
So, have you been on a lot of blind dates?
Well, this would make one.
Oh,
yeah.
Me too. What do you do?
I'm a vet.
I love animals.
Really? Yeah. Where are you from?
Michigan, born and raised. Go Blue.
Go Buckeyes! Go Buckeyes!
Get all the college hoops you can handle with the ESPN Full Court Pay-Per-View Package, presented by Olivia High Definition Television. Up to 30 games per week, top conferences, critical matchups you won't get in your area. The most complete college basketball pay-per-view package anywhere. Hoops Heaven is only a phone call or click away. The ball's in your court. Order now. ESPN Full Court is available on TV and online. To order, call your pay-per-view provider or go to ESPN.com, search Full Court. Big Monday.
Johnson finishing! You can't stop.
Super Tuesday.
Up in the air. Oh, my goodness!
ACC Wednesday.
The Dukies are on fire!
Each night starting January 8th, the field of battle changes, but never the fight for domination. Conference supremacy, what separates the leaders from the pack. Big Monday, Super Tuesday, ACC Wednesday. All season long, beginning Monday at 8 on ESPN.
Honey, look at this.
Is it for all of us?
Yeah. $1,600 for a week. But we can do that.
Oh, yeah.
The magic begins when you realize you can afford a Disney vacation. Other affordable packages all year long. Visit disneyworld.com/affordable.
No, I'm doing the 11 o'clock show, so tape it for me. Okay? I love role reversal movies. Go ahead. Oh, gotta go. See.
Hey, Crystal! Are you ready? Over here! I got it! I got it!
That is sweet.
We're live from Fort Lauderdale. It's the OD, the Offense-Defense All-American Bowl. We've reached halftime, and the West leads the East 14-7 after the East jumped out to that 7-0 lead. And here momentarily, lots of fun coming up at halftime. Cannot wait to talk to Nate Newton, the great Dallas Cowboy offensive lineman, who has been involved with offense-defense for a long time. And Chris Martin will get the commitments from 5 of these players. Most of the players, there's 82 between the two teams. Most have already verbally committed. Some are waiting until the last minute. Obviously, you don't have to sign for a few weeks now. It's still a dead period. In fact, Saturday is when the coaches start recruiting in full force again. But tonight, 5 of these young men will announce officially where they intend to go. And for them, their recruiting process will be over, which is kind of an exciting time for them, a nervous time. I know a lot of these kids have been seeking the advice of Nate Newton and Chris. Where should I go? It's a tough decision, one that affects them for the rest of their lives. And Chris Martin went through it many years ago when he decided to go to Northwestern. Of course, Chris was a smart cat, so that's why he went to Northwestern. But Chris, as soon as he gets wired up, a special announcement here on ESPNU. Chris, all right, we'll check in with Chris here momentarily. I think he's ready. And let's go down to the field now, Lockhart Stadium. And Chris, you're about to announce the life-changing experience for these young men.
Well, it is, Doug, and certainly these ballers are the future of college football. And exciting to be down here, excited for these young men who are going to be heading out next year and making a lot of college teams better. And first, we start off with Jermaine Love. And you're excited. We saw you flying around. Coaches said they loved seeing you get out and fly around and make plays. What are you thinking about as far as next year? Where are you headed?
Next year, I'm headed to Arkansas University. I love their defense. I love their defense, and I love their coach and staff on defense. So I will be headed there to show what the Hawks can do.
Can you repeat one more time for us where you're headed?
I'm headed to Arkansas University, baby.
Arkansas University, Houston Nutt. He's got to be excited to have you coming there. What was it that had such a big influence for you to go to Arkansas?
Oh, the way they play defense with a passion. A passionate player needs to go to a passionate defense, and that's what I am.
Well, you've shown that you've had plenty of passion, and you're going to bring it next year. We look for big things from you. And who's up next here? You got Harris. There he is, down on the end. Big guy. You're going to dwarf me here when I stand next to you. But we saw you flying around, making a lot of plays. Got the family out here. Everybody's excited to be a part of this great occasion. Tell the world here where you're headed next year.